Hello, Melissa and Scott. Megan here. Good thing you reminded us since you haven't posted a video. And anyway, thank you guys for keeping the vlog going. It's been good to hear from you guys, and it sounds like you've got good news, so that's really good. Unfortunately, if you have any idea about what's happening in the rest of the world right now, it's pretty depressing. We're depressed about politics here, but people abroad are worried about just trying to make it out of their country alive. And seek a better place for them to live, while back home we're focused on passing legislation to keep them out of our country. Great. Because both of you have souls, I'm assuming that you are having some problems trying to cope with this too. So, in order to deal with everything... Ooh, I know! Drugs! Yes! Wait, really? Well, I mean... No, but I am going to talk about drugs in this video. Now, since Scott already did a video on the actual, illegal kind of drugs, I'm going to talk about prescription drugs here. Like the kind that are prescribed to you, that are legal. Don't take things that are not for you, that's bad. These are my drugs. Although you guys don't know the specifics of my prescriptions, like the dosage or the name of the medication, I think you do know that they're to treat my depression and my eating disorder. A thing you might not know about these is that at the beginning of winter term, I left them here at home after winter break, which meant that I was without them for about a week. Now, Mom shipped them to me pretty fast, so it was only about a week, but in that week that I didn't take them, I did see some pretty interesting differences. So I expected to be crankier and have more problems with impulse control, but what I didn't expect was the effect that it had on my schoolwork. I know I've shared with you guys before that college has kind of been a struggle for me because I have a really hard time paying attention and retaining that information. So if I want to go to class feeling prepared, I have to read everything about 6 times and take really extensive notes. And since no one has time for that, I usually go to class feeling kind of unprepared and stupid, even though I did, in fact, do the reading. The thing I didn't expect about coming off of my medication, even if only briefly, was that in some ways it made schoolwork easier. Like, my schoolwork was suddenly a lot more interesting, and I could make connections to it, and things I was seeing in real life, and other reading that I had done before for different classes, and that part was great. I was also a lot more totally overwhelmed and hopeless. On the one hand, schoolwork made a lot of sense. On the other hand, it didn't make a lot of sense to be doing it because the whole world was sad. Like I said before, Mom shipped me my medication really fast, so I was only without it for about a week. But it was long enough to see what my life would be like without medication. And because I'd had that experience of schoolwork being easier, even if life was harder, I had to look at the box for a second when I got it in the mail and think, is it better to be dumb and happy or sadder but wiser? It took about another day of me not taking my medication to realize that, for me, the sad outweighed the smart. Hard to do a lot of saving the world with your brain if all you can make yourself do is lie in bed and eat trail mix. So, I still take these guys. Even though I care really deeply about my majors, classwork is, again, a joyless chore. Connections are hazier and harder to come by. However, I did read and connect with one more really important thing before my brain got all warm and fuzzy again. The book Mindset by Carol Dweck is a book that we read for my social and emotional learning class. Basically, what you need to know for this video is that in a growth mindset, you don't have a fixed amount of potential, and as long as you keep working at something, your potential is sort of unknowable. Basically, with enough work, you can achieve whatever you want. You can go way beyond what you think is possible. You guys both had Mr. Heston as a math teacher in high school. I'm not sure if you told Scott's class about this, but I remember when Melissa and I had him in class, he was up for this big national award, and it was down to, him and this other woman teacher, and he got second place, which he was a little bit bitter about, and I'm a little bit bitter about for him, because Mr. Heston is great. In her acceptance speech, she talked about a woman on a beach throwing starfish back into the ocean. Someone comes up to her and says, "Why are you doing that? You'll never be able to save all of the starfish." So she throws another starfish into the ocean. Now, Melissa, you being there probably remember Mr. Heston doing something like this. Because that's what he did when he was mad. The point of this story is not for me to be able to rip paper with my teeth on our vlog channel. The point is that this story illustrates the growth mindset. The fixed mindset, which is that you can only do so much and you only have so much given ability, you'll never save all of the starfish, so why bother trying? And the growth mindset is also illustrated here, which is, I don't know how many starfish I can save, but I'll give it a shot. Another important aspect of the growth mindset is the not yet. As in, I haven't saved all of these starfish yet. Or, I don't understand all of this class material yet. My natural tendency has always been to focus on the not, but focusing on the yet has provided a much more optimistic outlook, as long as you think about it in the right context, right? Because you can also have a not yet sentence, which is, I'm not going to eat this cupcake yet. Or, Russia hasn't totally infiltrated the White House yet! I mean, I guess if you're Putin, it could be a growth mindset. I'm sure Vladimir Putin is a very optimistic growth mindsetter. Like, I do not control all of the world. Yet. Megan, have you been watching the news, like, at all? Alright. That. Cheers, guys. Just remember, kids, alcohol is technically a solution. See you next week. Maybe.